We were ripping a roll, and there's Kitty Cat right now. Hi, little boy. He's coming over. If you could see this, hi, he's at least licking my finger. What a little good boy. Yeah, he says, I'll go over there now. Anyway, how's it going? Look out. It's Lucas the Podcat, as we are here on podcast number 494, the 3rd of November, 2022, by the way. And it's only me. It's only the camera, Harp Hope, and I think everything there, with Pete Davis. Sidekick, producer, and sports raconteur extraordinaire. What does that say? Dead Crow Defense. There you go. One of our longtime sponsors. And at the Mechanical Manglers, Flounder at the controls. YouTube, Facebook, the whole deal. We got Lucas the Podcat, and we're ripping and rolling. We've got a billion things. Again, we have a rather unusual weekly schedule this week because Flounder's doing actually a double shift at the radio station. And again, we're linked with Extra 106.3, the FM station. The cat's going through your stuff again, Pete. I mean, look at him. He's fine. He can't leave alone.
What are you, a narc?
Satchel.
What are you, a narcotics agent?
He's going in there. He's checking the buckles. Pretty funny.
He works for ATF. He's going through smelling ammo.
Anyway, and so we've got a bunch of newsy things. Again, I am so angry with President hate speech, again, making me and you the enemy. What's he getting?
He's going for the Reese's Pieces is what he's doing.
Is that what's in there? Anyway, we got a lot of newsy things in the election and stuff like that. We're going to talk Powerball here in a minute. We'll talk about how even the left is turning on President Showers with daughter. Do I understand correctly that Georgia is now not only not number one, they're not even number two?
And what?
Football.
No.
CTP top 10. Tennessee, Ohio State, Georgia number 3.
Yeah, that happened Tuesday.
Oh. Well, but since we last met. Well, but they're number 3.
Right. Well, that'll change this week.
Yeah, anyway. We'll talk
They'll be 7th by this week.
Well, this is the tenant. We'll talk sports later.
Right,
We'll be Holy Crap at Sports. I assume you're doing that later on today. Holy Crap at Sports?
Why?
Oh, you're not doing it today.
It's
Thursday.
I did it yesterday.
Right. I'm sorry. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Well, I've been injured. Boy, haven't I been injured. I'm sick and tired of. Anyway, God, I don't know where to start. Oh, Flounder, guess what? I tricked you again, my friend. I wanted to make meatballs. Okay,
Ooh.
So I started making the meatballs, and I said, well, I don't really feel like, making meatballs, so I think I'll just make meatloaf, and I made meatball recipe into meatloaf. I got a big chunk of it here for you if you want it.
Yeah, let me put it in the
good.
fridge.
And now
I'll try
again,
it
my
out.
taste buds are not quite as sensitive as they used to be, so I don't taste anything funny in there. But I put,
I'll give you a review.
Yeah, please do. I actually diced up my own sweet onions, and I added things that I normally wouldn't, such as milk, which you don't usually add milk into meatloaf, but you do in meatballs to hold them together. Anyway, so I put some things in there normally in meatballs that from my recipe that I put into meatloaf. So I hope you like it. Okay, and I didn't even talk to you because you came out of my house. You had nothing to do with it, so which is understandable. He's known me many years. God, where to start? Billion things. Oh, guess what? We got a little check here, boys, for our monthly stipend from our friends at 106.3 for our podcast link. $48 a piece. Huh? Yeah, thank you.
You want to be my friend, Danny?
Also, I hate to talk money, but this is very important. I want to thank you. We got the Venmo is up and working.
Yes, thank you.
So we had now. People ask, how does that work?
Real quick, me and Mike talked about this. We don't need to talk about it. Venmo is more for your phone.
Right.
So
okay.
for people who don't have to go onto a computer, Venmo is the easiest accessible on your phone, not via computer.
All right, now to get it, what do they? In other words, we put it on the Facebook page. So what do they take a picture of it?
That, or they just type. If they go to Venmo, they type in Kimmer Media.
Okay.
Because that's what we have it set up as, is Kimmer Media.
Or just scan the QR code.
Yes, but again, it's more just to clarify for people. It's for phones versus computers. So,
but can't they do it on a computer?
I think so, but it's more geared towards a phone.
Okay.
So.
Anyway, it's working. It's up, and just some. Michael sent us a little something. Heather with a note that said giggles. Patrick wrote and sent us money and said amazing podcast. Matthew wrote, keep me laughing in my UPS truck. Love you guys. Been listening for years. I was on Patreon, but it stopped billing me. Ronald said, quote, great podcast. And just like 20 minutes ago, Ann, a few minutes ago, gave us a little something on Venmo, too. So thank you. God bless you. I believe me, we're trying to keep this going. It's a little work effort here. And so we are very, very grateful. A couple other quick thank yous. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, longtime listeners and love the podcast. Thanks for all the laughs. Keep on trucking on. And they a very nice note, and they sent us a very nice donation. Kelsey and Greg, and by the way, he made the check out to the Kimmer Show podcast, but I went to the bank or whatever. So, but again, if you're sending us a check, it should be to Kimmer Media. Kimmer Media.
Made out to Kimmer Media.
Made out to Kimmer Media, yeah. And the address, again, it's Post Office Box 1432, Alpharetta, Georgia, 30009. One more quickie, we're done. Thomas wrote in. Thomas is the one who wrote the check to me, my personal name. So I'm just going to give you the. Yeah, I'll
Okay,
divvy
you
it
don't
up
have to
you.
go in the weeds on this.
Oh, well, sorry. But anyway, he said, and he called you Snake. I'm sorry. I don't know how. That's
care.
been 20 years. He was pleased to see you still broadcasting. Love your program back when you were on the News Monster. God, that's late, 1991 or something. Hope things work out for you and your crew. My dad was in the Army, and he's early 60s, was stationed in Okinawa, right up the hill from the 3rd Marines. I actually witnessed a Marine Corps birthday party at the field house, quite a sight that is forever burned in my memory, in my young brain. Good luck. I'll bet it was. Anyway, and the Marine Corps birthday is coming up on November 10th. Anyway, God bless America, and thank you so much. Let's see. Oh, I did this. I did that note there. Good, thank you. Okay, I'm it's good. Things are good. We're happening. A reminder, and I feel kind of bad about this. Flounder, I was listening to the guys this morning on 106.3. And they are sponsoring and supporting an event, a charity event on Saturday, November 12th.
That's the one you're doing, correct?
No, it's a different. It's something different. so I feel kind of bad. It's something else entirely. So
both are for a good cause.
Yeah, they're both a good cause. But I wanted to say again, and the information is I'm going to be a guest of some kind. I don't know. I'm not. Why they want me there, I don't know. But the American Legion, it's a memorial run for veterans. Some great veterans care and charity things locally. American Legion Post 29 in Marietta, meeting at Marietta Square in Marietta on Saturday, November 12th, a week from this coming Saturday, if you're listening to the podcast fairly soon. Anyway, you can get in touch with the American Legion Post 29 in Marietta and ask them if you want to contribute or just to show up and say hi. You don't have to run. If you want to run, you have to pay money to enter, and you get their prizes and stuff like
You're
that.
speaking, right?
Well, I'll be there. I'll be there. There was
I have a request then.
Yeah, what?
Anybody who's attending this,
Yeah.
please
Record it. Yeah, I'm not.
and send it to PeteDavis1 at yahoo.com so we can play it on the show.
I'll make sure, because I believe
I'm not a spy. I don't know.
Jim from All Four Seasons is probably going to be there, so I'll have him record it.
Yeah. Well, I got to talk to somebody about exactly what they want me to do. I was going to say, how you doing? Great to see you. God bless you. Supporting our troops. Singing, and that's why we're here today. And thank you. And on we go. And that'll be like 2 minutes. It'll be perfect. Let's see. A couple of more like housekeeping things. Before you go, I got this is. I'm sorry, this just amazes me. I still can't freaking believe it. I got today in the mail a thing from Aetna Medicare Solutions to sign me up, and it's addressed to Kim R. Peterson at my current address. Kim R. Peterson was my first. Well, for those who haven't known, in 1964. When I went to join the Phi Delta Theta fraternity, I have no middle name. It's Kim Peterson. That's my name. No middle name. Nobody in my family except one has middle names. Anyway, and so when I went in the Phi Delta Theta, the pledge, what do you call him? The fraternity master head guy said, "Well, you've got to have a middle name." I said, "I don't have one." He says, "Oh, we'll give you an R." So he put down in my Phi Delta Theta file in 1964. That they had a pledge named Kim R. Peterson. That has followed me from from 1964 through all my address changes over all these years. 60 year. What is it? I mean, I can't believe it. And I'm still getting it to that address at my name at my current address. How do you
Listeners,
explain that?
If you had today is the day of the Kim R story, you've won the lottery today.
Well, I haven't said that in a year. I mean, come on. But I mean, it's amazing. Now, can you explain that? How does that
I cannot
happen?
explain that.
I mean, they're obviously selling name lists to various people, but again, how could that be followed for 60
Your
years?
fraternity sold that list.
By what?
Your fraternity
I'm
sold
sure,
that
I
list.
guess.
Yeah.
I mean, is that unbelievable?
Where's yours? Where's a little?
Yeah, I'm
you just
gonna
wanna-
get a little something for, wet my beak,
Yeah.
just stick my beak in, a little something, for the effort, I mean, 1964.
I know.
I
At
mean, I
least
just get the.
you're not getting funeral arrangement ones like I am in the mail.
I got one the other day to be cremated. They want me to be cremated. I said, hey, you want to ease up a minute? I see people following me with a shovel in my sleep already, all right? I mean, I go to bed now and I wonder whether I'm getting up.
Oh, okay. This morning, before I woke up, I had a dream that we were on horses. It was you and me, and you were leading the pack, and there was a bunch of others. And somehow I found myself in front of everybody, and we're going through a grassy field. And I turn around, and you guys are gaining on me, and we're trying to escape from somebody. And I notice that some of the grass is mowed, so I steer the horse over toward the mowed so we can go faster.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you morph into George Washington. And then I woke up.
Oh, my God. That would wake me up, too. Holy smoke. What do you suppose that means?
I don't have no idea.
I really do love talking to dream people, who interpret dreams or nightmares.
They're all full
and stuff.
of shit. But
Yeah, it's all horseshit. I mean, it's your own thing. They say, well, it's what your real life really wants to be. No. George Washington.
I want to talk to a scientist who knows how the brain works. How does the brain,
synapses,
because the brain becomes a director when you sleep.
Yeah.
And it picks something from here and something from here. It could be 40 years ago. It could have been yesterday. It could have picked up a smell, and it puts together and it makes its own movies every night.
I mean, what's your imagination? I mean, how do you explain
Why is it doing this?
How do you define it? And also, the brain, when you sleep, your brain makes you want to sleep so your brain can clean your body, so you can get the blood flow going and the way things to make sure that in the morning you're able to eliminate the issues that you don't want in you anymore. I mean, your brain has to get your body to clean itself by morning.
Is that what the gypsy told you?
No. I mean, well, think about it. I mean, that's physically, that's what, when you sleep, that's your brain resting the things, getting the blood clean, and getting your digestion done so your body can begin anew.
It reminds me of the commercial, the comedian talking about the commercial about X-Lax or something. And it says, it works while you sleep.
Who wants that? Get off my back, woman. I saw that again. I just get the biggest kick. Well, I'm trying to find something we can afford. The black guy. I mean, all right. Anyway, I don't even know what that means.
I
don't. Let's see. Notes and checks. Again, just if you're like, what?
Cindy said I should ring the bell. I don't know about what, but
what? Oh, I'm bored. I'm boring you
no,
already.
probably about you're talking about shit in the bed or something.
Well, the body cleansing is all right. Sorry,
Maybe yours does.
Anyway, well, now I forgot what I was going to say. No. Again, this is just a quick nitpicking. All of a sudden now, and this has just started happening really in the last few days since I mentioned it the other day on the podcast, I am getting, with various names and slightly different scripts, over and over. In fact, the same person on 5 or 6 of my different videos that I post will say, you are so wonderful and sweet and kind, and I know I would like to get to know you, but I don't want to be forward, so if you could friend me, I would like to be able to have the friendness of your good happiness and sweet personalness. And so, I mean, what the hell's going on with that? And you can't block them. What are you supposed to do?
All of a sudden, the spam has gone nuts, and it started before Elon took over, about 2 or 3 weeks before. I think it's those little malcontents still at Twitter who are saying, we'll show him, we'll put more racist stuff, we'll put more hate stuff, we'll put more sex stuff on there, so everyone will blame Elon for doing it. Because it started about 3 weeks before he took over, and it's now continuing.
Well, it's popping up on my phone as a reaction to my videos every day.
I know, every day. It's a different shit.
And I don't want to reply because I don't know whether that does. Can I reply saying "leave me alone, you
Just
scumbag"?
block. No, you block them. Block them.
How do you block them? I can't open up anything to block it.
Wait, on Twitter?
No, on my Facebook.
Oh, Facebook. I don't know about Facebook.
Well, I mean, I've used. Are they the same things that are on? Now, how did? And by the way, how did that?
I don't know about Facebook. That's for old people.
Well, I'm going to try to find one now.
Kimmer trying to find his hot Asian chick, brought to you by Atlanta Custom Closets. Aren't they proud? ClosetPro.net. Just call 404-255-0589. That's Atlanta Custom Closets. If you have a closet with a cat in it, here's the people to call. ClosetPro.net.
I've got 5. I can't find it now, but when I here on my phone, if I get reactions to my videos, and I'll open up one right now, and it says from Denise, "Wow, Apollo's really changed colors, still spectacular." So, but then and among the list of the people who are responding to my videos are unknown strange names with a long paragraph of how wonderful I am, and they want to meet me. How did that post end up on my Facebook page? I mean, it's one thing to be on Twitter if they're trying to ruin Twitter, but how do they get onto my Facebook page? Who linked them to me? And I can't block them because you can't open it up. You can't. When you try to hit their picture or something, nothing happens, and it's just a message. So there's no way I can block them.
I don't remember how to do it on Facebook.
Anyway, I just thought I could. Now, and I just put on this. I'd forgotten this, and I just opened the message to remember it. Am I at all just blithering? Anyway, frequently when I come to Flounder's house, and I've stopped going through Roswell and Alpharetta now, the construction is freaking driving me nuts. I mean, you can't drive anywhere up here anymore. You can't. It's over. I mean, it's just, they're doing it on purpose, I swear. Everybody should leave Alpharetta, move and go away. It's unbelievable. Anyway, so now I came, what's that?
Get off my lawn.
I know. Well, it's true, I'm at the stage where I, don't have to take that kind of crap.
We're full.
I haven't got that much time left, you know what I mean? Every minute I leave behind a freaking orange cone, it's another minute off my final last cigarette.
The kids in your neighborhood go, but mister, you don't even have a lawn.
Anyway, so I came down 400 today, and it took like 9 minutes. Right? I couldn't believe it. It was very easy. Anyway, so God, I'm so long. I'm so sorry. When I come to the podcast, I'm always the first one here. I'm never late to anything.
He's here.
Well, Flounder's here and the kitty cat. But I'm always early anywhere I go, anything I do. If I'm late, it means I'm in a wreck. But I'm always early. So, and sure enough, today I was like 25 minutes. I was going to be 25 minutes early or whatever. So I stop at this little federal park, Federal Reserve. I don't know what it's called, the Forest Preserve or something near you on the road on this thing. And I just drive in, and there's a parking area, and it's beautiful trees, and people go there to hike and take their dogs for a walk or whatever. It's a preserve.
You find a bunch of guys
No. So no, stop. You're going to make me forget where I am. You do it on purpose, you bastard. You're a lousy bastard. Anyway, so I pull into the parking lot, and it's beautiful, leafy, it's quiet and peaceful. A few cars there, nobody's around, and I park there in a park. And I'm taking notes and stuff for the podcast, looking up a couple things, kind of getting my final stuff, so I don't show up at Flounder's house half hour early, whatever. Okay. So then, as I'm ready to leave, I realize, in this parking lot, okay, you drive into this parking lot, and it's a fairly large parking lot, and it's a circle, so you drive around in a circle in the parking lot. And surrounded by trees, and there's a kind of a path, and you see some picnic tables at one end of it. At the far end of this parking lot, right near where the cliff falls off, is the handicap parking spots. By the cliff. Instead of by the picnic tables where the entrance is to go on the trail. Now, who the hell would have put the handicap people by the cliff?
A sadist.
And I took video and I put it on the Facebook page. And I couldn't believe it. Who would have thought to put the handicap thing at the edge of the cliff?
You know how this looks, right? You're a lone man at 10 in the morning driving through a park.
I know. And there's probably surveillance cameras. And I swear to God, I was thinking this. Some surveillance camera is going to see me driving in a circle around the parking lot. Is he breaking into cars, looking for women?
It ain't women.
Well, now, see, that would be my first thought, would be women.
This isn't a truck stop.
Now, your first thought,
I'm just saying, it's a park. I used to do that.
Gotta save the Cracker Barrel, all right?
There used to be a nice park out by my parents' house, and years ago, I'm just fed up with them, so I'll just drive around to the park and sit and do some work while I'm sitting in the park. And I'd be sitting there after a while, and I'd look up, and there'd be like 3 other guys sitting in the cars. And I'm like, room, start the car. And you know, when we worked on Far Road at WGST, that Frankie Allen Park where we
Yeah.
used to play tennis and everything.
Yeah.
That was they used to arrest guys all
I
the
remember
time
that. I
in
remember
there.
that. That was a real. Well, no, but not far from the Waffle House, on the other end
down
of the
the
road.
street.
But
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember that got real bad for a while. We were doing
did.
stories on it all the time. Oh my God. One more quick kind of a thing, just a reminder thing of happiness. I'm driving down the road, going to the stable yesterday. And speed limit's 45, and it's a 2-lane loan, and there's a little bit of grass and then a sidewalk. Okay, so I'm driving this direction. There's a guy with his dog, walking his dog on the sidewalk ahead of me, going in the same direction. Okay, walking in the same direction I'm driving. His dog is on his left on the grass between the road and the sidewalk, and the leash is about 8 feet too loose.
That drives me crazy. Yeah.
And I thought, oh God, how would you like to run over a dog while the guy's there holding on to it, and I couldn't, and he didn't. As it turned out, he didn't do anything. But I hit the brakes. I couldn't move over because there was a car coming, and I almost stopped and yelled at the guy to say, but am I an old man? Get off my lawn, kind of like Flounder just yelled, But again, just be careful if you're walking your dog, and don't put him on that. Well, I put him on that side because that's where the grass is. But just be more careful. I mean, it scared the crap out of me. I mean,
Anybody
it startled me.
Anybody who's ever seen a dog run over, and I saw one when
I
I was a kid. We were playing football in the yard.
Oh, the noise.
And the little dog ran out to chase a car. And I just shuddered when you were doing that story, because it stuck with me my entire life. That's hearing and seeing that. And him going and picking it up as his mother came running out and holding it up to his mother going, he killed my dog.
Yeah, right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the poor guy.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, what's the guy supposed to do?
He stopped and everything is, I'm so sorry. It ran out in front of me.
Yeah, it's not going to be better. Not going to be better. Anyway, just be careful. Again, I saw some guy with his dog out his front window on his lap with his both just... Anyway, it was very amusing this morning. I listened to the radio show, 106.3, the Morning Boys, Flounder's Place. And it was a tug. Somebody was saying, "That's incredible. Actress Jennifer Grey was arrested for being a hooker who stole a guy's pickup truck." I said, "Whoa, wait a minute!" And I was about to type into Flounder, "Where'd you get this story? I didn't hear about this." And what turned out was a guy in Cayeta County. By the way, it's Cayeta County, not Coweta. It's Cayeta County. A guy was in Cayeta County, and he apparently made a date on Plenty of Fish, which is a website that's actually from Canada, but it's worldwide, but it's based in Canada. Yeah. And you can, and it's just a hookup, I guess. I mean, I don't.
Let's find out.
Shall we look up? Anyway, we got called Plenty of Fish, and this guy from Cayeta County met this chick at let's see, no, he sent an Uber driver to her hotel to bring her to his house.
I just typed in plenty. It's the first thing that comes up.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, PLENTY, boom, of fish.
Yeah.
I guess it's pretty popular.
It's a dating, yeah.
You probably have to sign up, though. I think you have to go rigmarole before they'll get your name and email address. Yeah, there it is. Anyway, so this guy sent an Uber to bring her from her hotel to his house, which actually is smart. If you're going to meet a girl at her hotel, her boyfriend's in the closet, okay? Anyway, not from what I heard. And so she goes to his house, and he says, "I got to go to the bathroom before we take off on our date." He goes into the bathroom. 30 seconds later, he hears his truck starting up. And he looks out the window. She's driving off in his truck. She stole his truck. She probably had roofies in her purse. Anyway, and so he called the cops, and the cops went to chase her. She was going 100 miles an hour to get away, and I think they did a pit maneuver, made her crash, and arrested her. And her name is Jennifer Grey. Yeah. And it was someone this morning saying,
"Nobody puts
actress?
baby in a corner."
I guess she's really fallen from grace, huh? I mean, my God. Wasn't she a famous actress? Got the nose job? And by the way, remember that when she got the nose job and she used to make fun of herself and she used to joke about herself.
They did a show,
she was great.
A sitcom.
That's right, yeah.
It was
great.
funny.
It was funny as hell. I liked her, too. She was hot. I liked her with the big nose. I didn't care when she was in that little dancing little trampy girl.
Remember the Seinfeld when Kramer's like, "You're beautiful. You just need a nose job."
Yeah.
Is that her?
No, that
wasn't her. But just making fun of her
Kramer,
nose.
leave it to Kramer. Anyway, let's see. There's plenty of fish. Watching the World Series last night. By the way, let's do a little World Series right now for a second before we do Holy Crap It's Sports tease, okay? I couldn't believe it. I don't know the name of the girl who was singing the national anthem. I missed the first couple seconds introduction stuff. I'm switching around. So anyway, I hear her singing. She almost did all of the Kimmer requested getting to the high note singing part of the national anthem. At the very end, she said, the land of the free, and the home of the brave. But what I want them to do before I die, my bucket list. Okay, somebody write this down. If I'm on my deathbed, it's like I got like 4 days to live. I want a carton of Luckies, and I want to hear that. I want some high school chorus or a glee club or some choir to do the national anthem. Only when they do the national anthem at the end, they say, "For the land of the free, and the home of the brave," and go up at the end of it as well. That's all I'm asking.
Not American.
That's all I'm asking.
Not American.
It is so
Denied.
Well, I guess I'll die a pitiful old goat.
When you come, you and your old folks home, we'll bring them and stand right outside the door.
And I clutch myself, quam. Here we go.
That's when we inject the syringe. You know?
Yeah, it's going to give me the big shot.
The IV.
Speaking of IV,
With a pillow.
do you see the picture I put? No, you don't look at the Facebook page. I put a picture.
I post on the Facebook page all the time.
I put a picture. Well, not anything that comes from me. Anyway, the story's out. My little friend Gretchen sent this as well, but the story's out there about President Crime Family, President Hate Speech, who again screamed at American conservatives last night. I hate him. I just hate him. I just hate him. They showed a tight shot of his hand.
Yeah.
The back of his hand. They're giving him injection IVs.
Yeah. Which means they can't find, they flatten these.
Why are they giving, and what is it? And they notice that it's fresh before he comes out to speak to the public.
You know what it is. It's vitamins and
some
Adderall.
Kind of, it's probably, half cocaine and amphetamines.
It's Adderall. It says, put the edge on.
Look at the Kimmer Show Facebook page. You can see the fresh wounds from where they had the needle in his back of his hand.
And they only do that when they can't get a vein.
When they can't go in here or in another vein. They can't find one at the normal place.
And it's painful.
And it's, and anyway, we'll get to that in a second or two. But again, I was very, very excited that she did, it was well done. Okay, now, on the game, quick thing on the game. And I didn't watch the end of it. When they started getting, it was 5-0 or something, and then I.
So you watched it, but not the end of the no-hitter.
No. And it was the first combined World Series no-hitter ever.
Yeah. So
the only other World Series no-hitter,
Don Larson.
The perfect game. Talk about a no-hitter. It was a perfect game. And, of course, that last called strike was not even near the strike zone. But,
yeah.
I mean, there was no way that guy
Yogi was coming out of his crouch. The ball was halfway to home plate.
Oh, no, I was celebrating, Your Honor. That's all.
He's literally reaching for
he
it.
had no way that was a strike. The only other baseball thing that I just hate, and I hate it for the ump more than anything, and I can't remember his name. He's a sweet guy. When it was a perfect game and he called the guy safe at first.
Yeah.
Oh, do you remember his name or who that? What was it? The World Series?
No, it wasn't a World Series.
But it was a
perfect
big game.
game.
It was a perfect game.
1 out left, and it was the pitcher beat the guy to the first base. It was not even close.
And everybody knew it. And he called him safe. And then he realized immediately he was really out. And later he was crying. He later apologized. I went to the pitcher room. Was crying. Yeah. It cost him a perfect game.
And
because
the
of
pitcher
an
forgave
easy
him.
Blown call, and the pitcher said, "I can't remember."
It was a Detroit Tiger. I forget what his name. No, Dinginger was a World Series blown call.
Yeah, that's right.
In '85.
And I thought, oh, that poor, and they all, But again, you remember that, not the perfect game. But anyway.
Well, to me, there's actually a movement to go back and change it in the record books, and the commissioner can do this, and I don't know why he doesn't. It was a blown call to give Reggie Bush back his damn trophy. Because
I don't have a problem with that. If everybody knows
he's paid his penance, he's paid. He should punish him because he broke the rules. He's paid the price. Give him his damn Heisman Trophy.
His father
back.
who tried to pay. I mean,
it was because his parents got a house. They got $300K.
Yeah,
which
but
is
again,
nothing.
it wasn't like he brokered the deal. Give me this, or I won't let my
they said today
come there.
He'd make $4 million at least, not $300,000.
Yeah.
And give.
And now it's legal.
Armando something, I forget. It was a Tigers pitcher. give him his damn perfect game, because now you just changed the call.
Yeah, I agree with that. Or even if we have to put an asterisk, explain it, but give him his due. I mean,
And you can't go back and change the 85 World Series, because there was a whole other game after that.
Right.
But you can change that one thing and just say, look, put an asterisk on it and say, it's a perfect game. We know it was a perfect game.
That's fair. That's fair.
And count it with them.
Yeah. Oh, God, we got so much more now.
Oh, by the way,
yeah.
as always,
Yes.
the DVR froze. I'm sitting there watching that game.
Oh, are you serious?
And it froze as Bregman scoops the ball and starts and puts his arm back, and it freezes. And it freezes, and it freezes, and then I see the Astros celebrating. So I have recorded it, and I'm sending it to these bastards at AT&T Uverse and their vaunted fiber optic cable they just installed. Said, this is worse now than when it was on copper. You guys are liars, and I'm going to go to Comcast if you don't fix this now. I've been putting up with this for 4 years, and at this point, it was a pain. But sitting there watching a no-hitter in the World Series last night, and it freezes.
When I retired and went to Florida, they didn't have Comcast. I had a condo at PGA National, and the system had AT&T. So that's what I guess that's what I had, or they didn't have something. And I had, every time there was a power, a storm or something, I had nothing. Of course, this was 20 years ago almost. Oh, that's not quite, 15 years ago. Anyway.
Was there a point to that story?
No, just to say that I've had the same issues with AT&T.
But this is a DVR that just freezes. There's no power outage. It's none of that.
Bad. Yeah, that's bad.
It's just, it sucks.
That's not right. Coming up, we'll be talking about Snelite Snavingsnime, also the Powerball, and I can eliminate now the Hate AT&T section. But first, I want to welcome back one of our longtime sponsors. In fact, you saw them on my Facebook podcast video the other day when I showed a picture of my flag on my deck with all my beautiful flowers and pom-poms right before Halloween.
That's right.
And the flag I had shown there was from FlagCo.com, and it still I've had it. I don't think it's been quite a year, but it's been a long time. Maybe it's been a year, and it still looks brand new. It's gorgeous. And the flagpole, it's the kind where it doesn't get twisted around. It's smooth. It has a ring on it. I mean, you'll see. Anyway, FlagCo.com is one of our Kimmer sponsors. On the web, it's FlagCo, FlagCo.com. I'll give you their phone number here in a second, 800 number. They have all and it's not just American flags. It's every state flag, country flags, military flags, banners. They can make one for you if you have an announcement in your neighborhood cul-de-sac and you want one of those bow and arrow banners that they have like that. They can make that for you too, all kinds of stuff. Now, they can have flags mounted to bricks. I mean, believe me, they really take care of you at FlagCo. Now, here's a couple things that they're doing. They have the Starry, Starry Night flagpole Christmas lights. You might as well get in on this now. It's all you need is a 15 to 25-foot flagpole. They can custom build a size if you want them to. They have white, warm white, red, blue, multicolor sets of lights. They have a mini version that includes a 10-foot pole, and you hoist it up, and whoosh, it's a starry night right there in your lawn for Christmas. They also have the trailer hitch flagpole kit, which is great for trailer hitching and showing off to people. The third item is a 20-foot telescopic pole with wheelbase, perfect for tailgating. The base slides under the tire, weighs it down. When the game's over, it collapses into a little package. Off you go, boom, bam. Anyway, check it out. The website doesn't even do it justice, but you can see what it's great for. Go to their website, flagco.com, and they're looking for warehouse workers. If you're looking for work, they need people too. And tell them the Kimmer sent you. Lighting kits, all that kind of stuff. Flagco.com. Here's a phone number: 800-962-0956. Flagco.com. They've got what you need, and it's perfect for Christmas. Flagco.com. Ya-da-da-da-da-da. We might.
Hold on real quick.
I'm sorry?
Hold on real quick.
Okay.
Nobody move. And we're back.
Ding.
Ding, everybody.
Ding, everyone. I've actually done that.
If you
Ding,
had
everyone.
him doing the ink story.
I've also said this is the National Broadcarping Castration. I've done that before too. Anyway, because I don't have any sensibilities. Geez, I've got newsy stuff, but a couple other things. Powerball.
Yeah.
Okay, it's going to be, as we speak, it's Thursday. The next drawing is Saturday night. It's going to be a 1.5 billion, or maybe more. Might be $2 billion. Who knows? Anyway, oh my God. And of course, everybody's saying the same thing. Before you go nuts, don't do anything. Put it in the safety deposit box or in your ice tray or something.
You go to an accountant, right? And a lawyer.
First thing you do, if you have an accountant, you call him, and a tax guy, and maybe another accountant, and get a lawyer. I mean, you need a staff. You need you need a staff. And it's all worth it. And don't even do anything for probably a couple of weeks. Get everybody together, have your meetings. And in fact, I have my Adam Thomas, UBS guy, but my daughter Sarah's married to an attorney who does a tax and estate planning. So, if I win $1 billion, not only am I going to give them money, but I probably he'll never have to work again, so he doesn't need my business. But anyway, get a couple of opinions if you want, but get all these people. And then, holy smokes! I mean, I said to myself last night, as though this is going to happen. Luckily for a guy like me, at my stage, how long am I going to be around? So, I'd keep a few $1,000,000 to buy a bunch of, classic cars and a nice place to live or whatever. But I'm giving everything to my kids and my grandkids, and then there'd be at least $1 billion, which I would just want to give away. I mean, which I would, everybody would have Little League baseball uniforms and computers or laptops or school crossing guards and security guards at every freaking elementary school in America, stuff like that. I mean, that's serious direct gift money. And that to me would be fun as hell. Hire a staff of people, of your friends, people you trust and like, pay them all a ridiculous amount of money and say, okay, let's find real places to give this money away. Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be great?
You get great service somewhere and say, you know what? You're nice to me.
You're retired.
Nice people should be rewarded.
It's John Beresford Tipton. Oh my God, John Beresford Tipton, the millionaire. Yeah. Tonight's guest. Here's our next millionaire. If you haven't, you got to Google that. It's probably available. If you could probably find it. Oh yeah, YouTube. But it was called The Millionaire, and I forgot the name of the host, but the millionaire's name was John Beresford Tipton, and he would call the guy Hal, or what his name is, into the office, and he'd give him a check to just some perfect stranger. And the story was the guy would go to the little Bing Bang, Montana, and hire this rancher or a shoe salesman, $1 million check, taxes paid. And then the story would be what he did, what happened to him. But again, wouldn't
they'll end up committing suicide?
But wouldn't that be such a kick? I mean, to really, really, really
just see somebody in need and help them out. Don't even let them know you did it. Yeah. Pay their bills. Yeah.
Wow. Mortgages, Christmas layaways. I mean, I would do Marine Corps and veteran stuff. They would none of those guys who ever got hurt in combat and stuff would ever be paying for anything again.
Go to a military base and go to the Walmart next to it. Everything's probably, if they still do layaway, and just pay everybody's layaway.
Yeah. But again, I mean, that to me, that would be such a dream. And again, I don't. What do I need? I don't. It'd be fun to have
a few million. I would travel. I give you guys and my family money, and then I travel.
And the rest,
and give money to people who deserved it.
Yeah. I think it'd be fun as hell. Anyway,
I promise I'll do good with it.
I'm going to be going to church every day. The deals I'm trying to make.
You know what we won't be doing?
What?
This.
No, we won't be doing a podcast.
maybe every few weeks.
Once in a while.
We do something just to say, hey, today I was in Venice.
Show up again. Where are you? I'm at Sierra, Leone or something.
We can do a Zoom from parts of the world that we're in.
I'm the left bank.
I'm going to go to every country that will not take my unvaccinated heathen ass, and I'm going to bribe somebody to let me in.
Yeah, here's $100,000. Get out of my way.
Yeah, I'm at the Capitol.
Don't you know who I am? I'm Pete Davis.
Yeah, you know what? It'd be like Rodney Dangerfield. Here's our friend for you.
Here, put on some weight, will you? Here, park my car, get my bags. Mr. Wayne, come on, it's a parking lot. Come on, will you? Oh, mercy, God! What a fun thing to think about, though. And
I would hire a camera crew to follow you around. That's what I would do.
And by the way, I have also thought about what I would do when I went public.
Yeah.
And would you go public? I think with that kind of money, I would definitely go public.
Someone in your family or circle
gonna
of friends
come out.
would out you. Yeah.
It's going to come out. Who's going to keep a secret? Guy won $2 billion. I mean, come on. So when I show up on the stage, what would you be wearing? Well, what would you be dressing in a costume? Would you be whatever? Would you be saying, boy, I just can't. I can't even believe it. I can't even find a girlfriend. Even at my age, I guess they really just aren't interested in dating an older man. Stuff like that. I mean, you could have so much fun, and you could go as long as you want and tell stories and say, remember that second grade teacher who was, you got an ex-wife who's never gonna, whatever. That girl, my first true love, Cindy. Where are you, Cindy? I'll give you $1 million right now if you can contact me within one day. You know what I mean? Oh, God, would that be funny?
You could pay a thug, Rocco and Moose, to go beat up Dan Rather.
Absolutely. There you go. What's the frequency, Kenneth?
You're up on the stage and you're dressed like, a hillbilly, and some smart ass media guy goes, "Hey, how come you dress like that?" And you just go,
Billy, Rocco,
Moose. Let this guy find his microphone. They just lift him up.
Have like a squad of ninjas, behind you at all times. Yo, cho. Oh, yeah.
Slow motion.
This was Indonesian. Sorry, that's a little different thing. Anyway, that would be kind of fun. One more thing, kind of a little thing to think about. Daylight saving time. Is that this weekend?
Yeah, I believe. Well, everyone's saying it is, so I trust them.
And again, I'm a little anal about this. It's not daylight savings. Savings are what you put in the bank. It's a split infinitive, gerund dangling participial phrase. Daylight saving. You're saving daylight. Okay, you're not saving You're not saving savings. You're saving daylight. It's the daylight saving. It's not the kitten cat saving. It's not the dog saving. It's the daylight saving time.
So what's plural for saving?
Saving.
Well, you can't have multiple daylight saving. You're either saving it
You
or
get
you're
twice
not.
a year.
See, there's always one guy. Anyway, it's daylight saving.
How do you sit with that rod up your ass?
Thank you. And again, no one cares but me, and so that's fine.
And explain, because everyone always gets this wrong.
Yeah, right. Well, okay. If you're going to fall, we're in the fall. If you're going to fall, you obviously don't want to fall backwards where you can't see what you bang your freaking head.
Concussion.
You want to be able to fall forward so you can, like this. Gently, maybe get on your knees, just to think. So falling forward is much safer, much easier, which is the way I remember it. It's I went through school. All the grades I got were because I made little rhymes. For example, 1493, Columbus sailed the deep blue sea. Worked with me my whole life. Anyway, so again, you want to be falling where it's safer and happy and safer. So if you're falling to the forward, then that makes sense.
And if you're scared in the spring, you want to spring back away from the danger.
Back to life. Well, no, if you've had a bad winter and you're cold and snowy and you don't want to spring back to life.
That's true.
You want to, like flowers. The flowers in the spring are doing what? The springing back to life.
That's right.
I mean, come on, Pete. Do I have to do everything? Sorry, I didn't mean to yell. I was yelling, and you people are being nice and sending us money. And by the way, and again, it's not. Don't make the money out to me because then I gotta, it's Kimmer Media. Kimmer Media. Anyway, but thank you. I swear to God, thank you. Let's see. How now we got to be out of here in like 45 minutes. So we got. Yeah. Now let's see what else on Pete got a Powerball, got all this stuff. This is really cool. Excuse me. I voted. It was yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yesterday. I was driving by the area. It's the Alfredo Library, I guess. I drove through, and there's a bunch of parking lots in the area. They were all mobbed, and but there wasn't. I didn't see any people outside the building or anything like that. So as I drove down the hill to go around to the library's parking lot, there was a space right on the end where the end of the parking lot is, which means nobody could hit me on the left. If they want to bang my door, they can only bang it on the right. I try to park. If I'm parking where it's crowded, I try to make sure they can only bang me on one side if I have to get banged.
That's what she said.
What she said. Anyway, so I said, that's a great sign.
Yeah.
I mean, I took it as a sign. So I pulled right in there, and I pulled safely enough away from the guy on the right that he wouldn't have to have an issue, and I was right up against the thing. There was boom, 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 boom. Walked up. There were probably, I think I counted 18 people ahead of me in a line to go into the office where you actually cast the ballot. And I think it probably took me 25, 30 minutes. before I got in there, and I don't know. This is the first time. I'm sure this has no meaning, and it was probably a thing. The lady at the door who kind of said, "Okay, you can go in now." We went in to get our card thing. Was just real kind of cool and unfriendly, no smiles, no how you doing, or and then when I went up to the desk, was one of the guys there. I guess they're all volunteers. I don't know who they were. Anyway, the guy who was took your ID and then picked up the thing and typed in a thing took forever. I mean, so he was one of these where going with a
sloth.
Oh, jeez, and never said a word, never looked up, never saw my face, never said hi, thank you, good morning. It was just grumpy and just unpleasant. I mean, and I thought, God, what the hell?
You mistakenly went to the DMV, didn't you?
I must have gone to the DMV or the blood bank or something, where they, Jesus. I mean, no, I wasn't offended, but I thought, come on, people, if people are voting.
Was friendly where I went. Everybody was friendly.
It's the first time.
The guy taking the thing was a little too friendly, if you remember.
In fact, those were the first two, and then the third person I actually had a thing with was when I got when I put the card in, and then I hit the final thing, and the card came out, and then it said, "Take your paper and give it to the guy," or whatever the thing is, and so. And I heard the sound of it, but I didn't see where the paper came out. I didn't. I turned around and I said, "Is there a paper?" He said, "I heard it. I heard it." And so I looked, and there it was. I didn't notice where it was on the top of the machine. But again, I heard it. I mean, just what the hell, man? And then I said the thing. And by the way, for the record, he said, "Well, give me the card." Sorry, I didn't mean to keep it. I wasn't trying to steal it. Jesus. Anyway, and then he said, "No, you got to put." And I said, for the paper to put it into the counting thing. And I said, "Does it matter right side up or not? Because I've heard." And I said, "Should I put it right side up?" Or he said, "Yeah, right side up." And I said, "Well, the people are telling me that it does make a difference." He says, "No, right side up." We just had a guy last podcast told us, he said he can go either way, right?
Well, it was a lady who's working.
Yeah, worked there and
on
said
the
you can do
scanners
it either
and
way.
says it's either way.
Well, he said right side up, and I said people told us that it doesn't make a difference. He says, no.
If I find out it makes a difference, I'm going to burn things to the ground.
Yeah, we're going to have a problem. They think they had an insurrection before.
They haven't even seen one. It has not even come close.
They're going to notice this time.
Now, it's funny you brought up parking,
Yes.
because we were going to talk about this the other day, and we ran out of time. You got to love our African-American friends. They are the most inventive people we have here. I mean, they've helped change music, popular culture. It's amazing. They're the ones, when we were young, it was the rednecks who backed into parking spaces.
Yeah.
And then no one backed into parking spaces.
Yeah.
And then African-Americans brought back the backing into a
Now
parking
they've got
space.
women trying to do it.
Everybody do it. But now I've noticed a new trend, and I saw it twice over the weekend.
What?
Because
No.
you know me, I'm out on my balcony watching the people make
you're
idiots
near
of
a parking lot.
themselves in
We're
the parking
a
lot.
very popular parking area.
It's like a show,
Yeah.
watching these idiots park, right? And I've noticed, I saw one car, and it had parked front. It pulled in, not backed in. It pulled into the spot.
Yeah.
And there was nobody on either side, by the way. But it had catawampus, where the front left bumper was at the front left part of
At
the
an
parking
angle?
spot
Well, why
at
would
an
you do
angle,
that?
and the back was totally at an angle. And then I saw it again, and I'm sitting there watching.
On purpose,
both
you mean, or
of
just
them,
bad parking?
both
No.
of them were African Americans, and they got out, and I'm sitting there thinking, now why would you do that? And then it hit me. No one can hit your door. Both of your doors are away from the other car's doors. So when some idiot gets out and swings their door open, it doesn't hit your car. And you're
God, I
still
guess.
legally in the parking spot. You're legally in the parking spot. But it's at an angle.
The front bumper, that's really
Well, it's
intrusive.
not affecting anybody. Now, the only way you can do it, though, is if there's nobody already there, because it'd be very hard to go in at an angle when there's cars there. But if there's nobody there, and you whip in at an angle.
Now,
I only saw two people do it. They were both African American. I'm thinking, now I don't know, maybe this is the new trend.
Oh, it's a survey.
Or it was just pure
I'll
luck.
be damned. I hadn't thought about that.
But think about it. It's
I don't
actually
think I've ever-
genius if it works.
I don't think I've ever noticed it. Other than I would think it's somebody doesn't know how to park. But I can say, well, I mean,
That's what I first thought.
sorry.
But no.
No, but seriously. All right, hold on. We got a billion things, and we're going to get to all of them here before we have to, because Flounder's got to go back to work here shortly. He's working a double shift here. So
Didn't I?
Yeah. We have a couple more voting things. Also, the New York Times and George. Did you hear what George Will? Did you see his? Oh my God, what a great!
He's still alive?
Wait till you hear. If you haven't heard this, and again, I'm going to actually read you some comments from George Will, who, by the way, is a fop. As far as I'm concerned, he should have stick to talking about baseball. He's a great baseball historian, writer, guy. I mean, he really is. I really admire and appreciate and respect his work, but I don't like him as a political commentator. If you look up "smarmy" in the dictionary, it says "see George Will." I'm pretty
Spineless.
sure. There's a lot of things I don't like about him, and he's certainly no Trump-loving hard right conservative by a long shot. So, but what he has now done, the left wants to burn him in effigy, or for real.
Before you do that,
Yes.
we have some comments on your grumpy people at the voting place.
Oh, all right, sir.
Cindy says someone's grumpier than Kimmer,
Wait a minute.
and Mark says not possible.
Wait,
And Cindy replied, "My thought exactly."
Oh, hold on a second.
And Mark said he's getting upset. And Cindy said, "Hard to believe." Now, before you say anything, Cindy is our tax lady.
I know. All right. Cindy with a Y,
A Y and an IE at the end.
Yeah, well, there you go. Anyway, we welcome back FlagCo.com, one of our longtime Kiver sponsors, and also our friends at MNS Title Pawn in Bremen, Georgia. They've been your trusted partner for personal finance for 24 years. Locally owned company, M&S, it's the two letters, M&S Title Pawn. Locally owned company, simple, straightforward terms. They don't mess around, no hidden fees, a tiered rate offered for pawns. Their staff, open communication, everything is above board totally. They have potential to buy out your current pawn. Let me give you a phone number, M&S Title Pawn in Bremen, area 678-821-3337. And if you want to learn more about their services and buyout possibilities or checking an appointment, you can also reach them on the internet. And you spell out M&S Title by calling it manstitle.com, M-A-N-D-S Title.com. In Bremen, Georgia, MNSTitle.com. And thank you so much. Good to have you guys aboard. Everything all right over there?
Never mind.
Yeah.
Keep smiling.
A couple things. By the way, in Nashville, they've counted several hundred votes that were cast in the wrong election, apparently. So I guess I thought that was impossible. Hundreds of
As
votes.
someone pointed out, when we were younger, it was all Chads or paper ballots.
Yeah.
And they told us on the 11 o'clock news who won.
Yeah, that's right.
And now we have all this technology, and everything's screwed up.
And now, did you hear President Crime Family, President Hate Speech? I hate what he did last night. Anyway, has now said, well, now, it's you Republicans are causing delays, so it's going to take several days to count these ballots. So it's your fault, you Republicans, because you aren't allowed to count absentee ballots in advance. So he said, you're responsible for it. It's going to be several days till we find the number of votes we need, to come up with, and here we go. Here we freaking go.
If they stop it again at 2 a.m.
And we know they're all already, we heard Hillary Rodham P. Stinky Fart Cabbage already said it's fixed. The next one's going to be fixed. They're complete election deniers. And they complained that, the whole story about election deniers. A judge in Arizona. By the way, I think it's a great idea to have people monitoring the drop boxes to make sure that one guy doesn't go to 50 different drop boxes with all the ballots he got from someplace. Anyway, so one of the ideas was to have people have a little party at a drop box location and, have some lawn chairs and sit there, play the radio or whatever, and have some music and just, be there where the drop boxes are so nobody's going to do any shenanigans. Well, some idiots in Arizona showed up in masks and flak jackets carrying guns, which is a little intimidating. And so somebody complained. They went to the So a federal judge has now ordered, if you are in Arizona and you want to monitor the drop boxes, you have to stay at least 75 feet away. And they've now been to this. The judge has ordered these drop box monitors to publicly correct false statements about the election laws. And he's restricting what the group Clean Elections USA can say near the ballot boxes. Talk about violation of free speech, trying to make sure the election is on the up and up. And they're he's trying to make sure that it's harder to make the election on the up and up. I mean, it's, everything is freaking backwards.
I know.
And by the way, I need to say this.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I need to say this because it's been on TV. As a non-wife-beating ex-husband who has never hit his wife with a car while making her cry, I just cannot vote for Raphael Weifnacher. As a veteran who believes you can also have faith in a higher being, I cannot vote for Raphael Weifnacher. As a non-deadbeat dad who's never denied child support, I cannot vote for Raphael Weifnacher. As a non-slumlord who's never laughed while evicting a family over $20, I cannot vote for Raphael Weifnacher. As an ordained minister, true, the most dangerous minister in America, who does not mock the meaning of Easter or the resurrection, and who believes that live birth abortion's a little harsh, I cannot vote for Raphael Weifnacher. Well, I'm a girl and I can't vote for Herschel Walker.
You want to hear the latest evil?
I do.
What Gavin Newsom did? They signed a new abortion law in California. And it doesn't say prenatal. It says perinatal, which means you can kill the kid 24 days after it's born.
24 days?
That's allegedly what's going on. That's called infanticide.
Was it Virginia where the governor of Virginia sat down on TV and was explaining with one of the abortion people or something? Well, if the baby is born alive and the mother hasn't made her decision yet, we keep the baby comfortable.
They put it on the counter.
Yeah, keep it comfortable until they decide whether to
So who smothers it?
Jeez, what do you hit it in the head with a hammer or how? How?
Well, it's kind of soft up there, so it's very easy.
I mean, I can't believe it. I can't even believe it.
I know. I was saying about this the other day. In 1984, this is how lax things were and how we trusted each other. I was living in California, and I picked up my surfboard and walked toward the beach, and I stopped, and the polling place was in a person's garage in the neighborhood. In the garage. Wow. And I put my surfboard down. I voted for Reagan, which is different than I did 4 years before. And then I walked out, picked up my surfboard, and went surfing. It was the best voting day ever.
I'll be damned.
But it was in a garage, and no one batted an eye because we trusted each other.
Well, it's everything's gone. Everything. By the way, a couple of things that I thought were amusing. I think we're going to talk about President Crime Family, showers her daughter, and all this kind of stuff, including the tweets flagged and his hand and the stuff, and the Border Patrol, and reacting to the ACLU. Did you hear about that? Very hysterical. First, couple quick things. Apparently, CNN has had to deny that they put a story out that said Donald Trump is dead. Apparently, somebody put a meme out attributing to CNN that they said Donald Trump is dead. The former president to pass, They said no.
He's returned from the dead.
That's all social media's going. And also, and I tried to Google some of these. You could look up. There's a whole bunch of sources now. Celebrities who have left Twitter because Elon Musk is. Celebrities, well, you can call them celebrities, and there's some names but it's not like,
They'll be back.
Yeah, no, yeah. I thought you all were in Canada anyway. You probably should go to Canada. How many went to Canada? Anybody go to Canada? Freaking cowards.
They never go to Mexico. Do you notice that?
Huh?
They never go to Mexico.
Never go to Mexico. Or Saudi Arabia. Or Pakistan. Yeah, there's a good one. Go to Pakistan. We should. That's even better. Let's see. Let's do a whole crap of sports quick thing here. Again, the game tonight. And again, a combined no-hitter last night in the ball game, and I didn't see the end of it. But
neither did I.
It's why did? Oh, because
I was watching it and I didn't see it.
Oh God. The starting pitcher not Alvarez. What's his name? Suarez. Who is the starting pitcher for Houston
tonight?
No, last night. Who did?
Christian Javier.
Yeah. I was reading somewhere that the average his curveball is outrageous.
It's a
His breaking
fastball.
balls.
It's a fastball. That's doing it, though.
The average, and these numbers may not be right, but I'll tell you the difference. It shows what I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is that the average curveball spin rate in the major leagues, let's say, is something like 2,200 RPMs.
Yeah.
His spin rate is 2,600 RPMs. I mean, it's unbelievable, and you have to wonder how the hell can he do it? Are his fingers that? Because now, and I love the technology of the cameras. You can actually
see how they throw a slider.
You can see the fingers in slow motion releasing the ball. I mean, it's
And
really
where
spectacular.
they're holding the ball.
It's where he's holding the ball, but it's also think of the strength in the fingertips must be the final solution to it.
Yeah.
It's like people who climb rock climbs and stuff can do fingertip pull-ups on a door frame.
That's
Have you ever tried to
amazing.
do that?
That's hard.
Go to your door jamb, put your fingertips on top of the door and try to pull yourself up. Well, they can do that. So, I mean, and maybe he has that. It's got to be something to be able to squeeze that ball and spin it and control it.
The thing is, his fastball, it gives the optical illusion that it's rising.
Yeah.
That they're swinging where they think it is,
Yeah.
and it's
And
above
it's not
it.
even-
So they
it's-
kept popping it up all night.
Yeah. I mean, I really, I didn't really know much about him, but I was pretty impressed with him.
I tell you what, next year he's going to be probably the ace. He's like their third or fourth pitcher right now.
I really didn't know anything about him.
Guess what? Someone posted where he was 2 years ago. He was a foreign signee. In fact, most of their starting pitchers they found in the Caribbean somewhere and signed
Is
them.
he the one who's the first one born in Cuba? Who's now?
No. There's been a million of
There's-
those.
yeah, anyway,
that they showed him where he was 2 years ago, and he literally looks like he's in a path that had been cut out of the forest where someone made a dirt road. And some guy's way out in the distance, no backstop, nothing. So he had to catch everything, and he's down. He's got a mask and a mitt,
Yeah.
and he's like in the jungle, and he's throwing flat, no mound. That's what he was doing 2 years ago.
And he's now being a hero.
The no-hitter in
World
the damn
Series.
World Series.
Holy smokes. Anyway, anything else in the and a big game this weekend? Holy smokes, Georgia, Tennessee.
That's-
again, Tennessee's ranked number 1 now.
Yeah, and the one that counts,
Jeez.
the peak poll. No, I'm just kidding.
Hello. Do you have it number 1?
No, I have.
Ohio State or Georgia?
I think I got Georgia back number one. If not, it's Ohio State. It's Ohio State, Georgia. I have Tennessee fourth.
Anyway, Michigan's
Michigan's
it's
in
going to
there.
be, and they're saying now they're hyping this quarterback at Tennessee as the Heisman favorite.
Oh yeah. If he wins this game, he might just run away.
Yeah.
Well, him and the Ohio State guy will be head and head. C.J. Stroud.
Pretty exciting.
If Georgia is at home, they've got the experience in big games. Tennessee doesn't. Tennessee, to me, it'd be an upset if Tennessee wins this game.
Oh, I agree. Even though they're ranked number 1, Georgia's 3.
Georgia losing its defensive end, that hurts a lot because that guy was really good.
Yeah, but I'll bet they've got 5 guys who can do the
Not
same
as good
thing,
as him, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, pretty cool. All right, now, last night I was watching Jesse Waters, and I knew that President Hate Speech Scumbag was going to be giving a speech, and Jesse went to it. They had to go to it at some point, and almost the first words out of his mouth were. The attacker inside Paul Pelosi's house was saying, "Where's Nancy? Where's Nancy?" Just like the dum-da-dum-da-dum. The problem with, I've got the quote here someplace. Well, I can't pay. But he said, "Where's Nancy? Where's Nancy? Violence against Democrats, nonpartisan doing their job, lies of a conspiracy and malice repeated over and over to generate a cycle of anger, hate, vitriol, and even violence." Warning, we're not often faced with the question of whether the vote I can't even read. He started talking about the same thing of January 6th. He made the point that when the guy was screaming, "Where's Nancy? Where's Nancy?" it was the same shout that the rioters and the insurrectionists and the mob was using when they stormed the Capitol trying to overthrow the government. "Where's Nancy? Where's Nancy?" linking the Paul Pelosi attack to the January 6th insurrection. And then he went on to say the country's democracy, which we don't have, the country's democracy was dangerously close to crumbling. We often are not faced with questions whether we vote to cast preserve democracy. This year we are. In our bones, we know democracy is at risk. That's just such a bunch of bullshit.
All of it's a lie.
I hate every single word he said in that last night was a dirty, stinking lie. And by the way, how come he didn't make these kind of comments when they tried to kill Congressman Scalise and kill all the Republicans at the ball game, at the practice? Remember that? The guy wanted to kill all Republicans. How come he didn't say much when he showed, well, they should still be able to protest at a Supreme Court justice's private home? Yeah. Oh, really? Is that right? They would have done it at Ruth Bader Ginsburg's house. You would have thrown him in freaking federal prison, you lying bastard. I hate these people. And again, it's not even him. He doesn't know where he is or what he's doing. Whoever's feeding him all that and putting this on the teleprompter.
But why would they think that's what people are concerned
Yeah.
about? Because half the country's concerned of the Pelosi thing. I understand that. The main thing is inflation,
Right.
gas prices, of course, the threat of nuclear war, the border. That's what people are thinking about right now. They're not thinking about Paul Pelosi.
The speech right before the election, you would think would be why Democrats have a better program than Republicans.
We're gonna help you.
But yeah, here's the issues and here's how we're going to take care of them. Instead, it was attack Trump supporters and the Republican Party as dangers to America. Really? I'm a danger to America?
Not yet.
You're about to find out who's a danger to America. You keep pushing me.
No, we're not going to give danger to America. We are the Americans.
Yeah. You're my enemy. Don't make me you're my enemy. Honestly, I mean, I've never felt this way in my life.
I know.
I've never felt this way about a politician. I've never had anybody affect me like. I never liked Jimmy Carter as a president. I liked him as a man. I knew him personally. I liked him as a man, but I didn't, as president. And Nixon, I thought was, a cold-hearted jerk and everything. But I've never had an emotional reaction where I hate what you stand for. I hate you calling me names. No president's ever looked me in the eye and said, "You're an enemy. You're a danger to democracy." Are you serious?
Reagan warned us. Said we're one generation away from losing all of this.
I joined the Marines for my country.
Yeah.
And I'm a danger.
And he's a career politician. He's never done shit in his life but live off the public
Oh,
trough.
God.
And he's calling you
I'm
a domestic terrorist.
Yeah, right. I mean, I am really upset about this. And last night I couldn't watch it. I was so freaking angry about it. And I'm hoping other people are saying that's not what a president does. And I thought about when he had the two Marines and on guard with a bright red devil light
The
shining
Nazi
behind him
symbolism.
when he came out, like the Fuhrer speaking to the masses.
Yeah, exactly.
At night in the
And he's-
dark
he's
with a
doing
red light
this.
behind him. Yeah. Oh.
And by the way, the red lights look like the eagle.
Yeah, the
Nazi eagle.
Exactly.
That's what it looked like.
It was the coming out of the Nazi columns where Hitler's,
If Trump had done that,
at
oh
night
my
in the
God.
dark where the mob is, subdued.
In Nuremberg.
Oh,
No,
Jesus.
not Nuremberg. The one that, where did he do the
It
big
was
rallies?
Yeah.
Munich? Was it Munich? Was it?
No. Well, one of them was Munich, but there was another one. I can't remember.
Maybe
I know
it
what
was
you're talking
Nuremberg.
about. No, it was there was a very Werschmacher or something. I can't.
One of
think
the
what it
Lenny
was.
Riefenstahl film,
I
Triumph
can't.
of the Will. Yeah.
Whatever. Also, and check this. Two things happened. And again, I don't want to be boring and I want to start reading a lot of stuff. But in case you didn't know this, in case you didn't get it, liberals are going nuts, claiming that now the New York Times is out to destroy the presidency. The Times senior political reporter, Maggie Haberman, is being swarmed, viciously insulting her and the report for making Biden and Democrats look bad because they reported on all his gaffes. For example, Biden verbally fumbles twice during a campaign trip in Florida. He fumbled thing confusing the American war in Iraq with the Russian war in Ukraine. He fumbled again when he tried to correct himself, misstating how his own son Beau died in 2015. And then wrote, Mr. Biden, who at 79 is the oldest president in American history, has a long record. This is the New York Times. Has a long record of gaffes dating back to when he was a young man. But his misstatements have become more pronounced and more noticed now that he has the spotlight of the presidency constantly on him. It was retweeting from her own account. She said she anticipated some backlash, but not this. One University of Wisconsin professor said, "Excuse me, the war in Ukraine, Beau may well have died from brain cancer because he was in Iraq, You weren't even alive in the 80s. And most of these aren't gaffes. Grizz, grow up. Another one said, she's trying to destroy us. The New York Times tried to destroy us. It's really sad what you think your job is, your giant effing megaphone during an attempted fascist takeover of our democracy. Again, I mean, these people are saying what they're doing.
They're insane.
Almost done. The novelist D.C. Peterson, no relation, said, "Hey Mags," the New York Times reporter. "Hey Mags, does Vladimir pay you directly, or is the money laundered through holding companies?" And she expects us to buy her damn book. One more said, "Just go blank yourself." I mean, this is on and on and on. Conservatives, however, said their reaction was somewhat different. Governor DeSantis' people said, read the quote tweets. Dems big mad that a reporter reported something unflattering about dear leader. Good God, Maggie turned off her replies. Who's creating a hostile environment now? That's the other thing. They'll come after you with hostile environment. Verbal fumbles, nothing. He's blatantly lied at least 5 times today.
Yeah. Mark Hemingway said, just so we're clear, in a single day, the President of the United States claimed he spoke to the inventor of insulin, his son died in Iraq, and that he attended an HBCU school. None of those things are true.
He lied about everything.
He doesn't know he's lying now.
And they played him again on Fox News. Thankfully, played him saying about HB, historically a black college and university, which is simply not true. And this was amazing to me. And again, George Will, to me, I appreciate, I admire and appreciate his skills. He's clearly George Will, but he's a little mamby-pamby for me and all kinds of stuff. He's hardly a Trump lover, but he's always been known as a conservative columnist or whatever back in those days. How you label him today, I'm not even sure. But George Will himself has now come out with this, which I think was unbelievable. George Will, and I won't read the whole thing for you, has a column that says, Biden is not just past his prime, even adequacy is in his past. Will is 81, a longtime Republican who left the party after Donald Trump won. See, there you go. I mean, it's not like he's a Trump lover. And George Will voted for Biden in 2020. George Will now says, I'm unaffiliated. But the president's false statements that the student loan forgiveness plan was passed by Congress marked a breaking point. Meeting recently with a progressive activist, Biden said his billion-dollar student loan was accomplished by a law that he had just signed. I got it passed by a vote or two. George Will wrote, no, period, he, period, did, period, not, period. Biden was not merely, again, embellishing his achievements. This is not just another of his verbal fender benders. There is no less than dismaying explanation for his complete confusion. What vote? Who voted? It's frightening that this is George Will speaking. Biden does not know or remember what he recently did regarding an immensely important policy. He must be presumed susceptible to future episodes of similar bewilderment. He should leave the public stage on January 20th, 2025. He was similarly unsparing about the Veep, who he described as starkly unqualified. Lacking natural talent. I mean, that's the other thing. She really doesn't have any natural talent. She's completely ill at ease. For an educated woman who is a former attorney general of California and is currently vice president, she's got no skills of any kind. Anyway, this is George Will now. Transcripts of her verbal meanderings cannot convey their eerie strangeness. Videos of them should be watched. I have a particular fondness, I must tell you, for electric school buses. I love electric school buses. I really do. I've been on these electric school buses. 25 million children in our country every day go to school on those diesel-fueled school buses, and hundreds, thousands of school bus drivers are driving those buses, which are then, these people, these children, these adults are inhaling what is toxic air. She sounds, as one critic has said, like someone giving a book report on a book she has not read. Will went on. Twitter media watchdog A.G. Hamilton, quote, her style betrays a self-satisfied exaggeration of her aptitudes. She needs to prepare, but evidently does not. And it went on and on and on, saying, these people are no, in 24. And he's right, and we all know it, but he said it out loud. And one more thing you mentioned on his gaffes. Let's see. Even Twitter got on him. I got to hear it. Here we go. His Twitter account was flagged. They had to delete their Twitter that got flagged by Twitter, their tweet that got flagged by Twitter, crediting Biden for Social Security payment increases. Yeah. This was yesterday afternoon. There was a tweet that said, President Biden's leadership is the reason we're increasing in Social Security benefits. In the future, you'll get more money thanks to President Biden's leadership. Even Twitter said, no, that's a 40-year high inflation.
Nixon signed the law saying if inflation goes up, seniors get more money.
Right.
So basically, Biden was taking credit for raising inflation.
Bragging about Richard Nixon's Republican platform. Even Twitter said, no, I'm sorry. That's just
Well,
not
the White
right.
House took it down.
Then they took it down. It was accompanied by a note from Twitter saying many readers were adding context to the White House message.
The truth.
Put some context in there. The tweet was taken down, and a White House official said the decision was made because the point was incomplete. White House press podium bimbo Karine Tarine Chajin Fafine. She's gay, she's black, she's female, she's stupid. She said, well, Social Security checks will rise as Medicare premiums fall, which means seniors will have a chance to get ahead of inflation. She said the tweet was not complete. The tweet was not complete, and that's why they took it down.
Tweets not being complete, brought to you by FarmhousePrintingCo.com. Custom shirts and hats and signs and all kinds of stuff. No minimum order, no setup fees. Order 1,000, doesn't matter. All your Kimmer Show t-shirt needs, Holy Crap at Sports, whatever. They have laser engraving, so if you want something really burned into it, by God, they can do that too. It lasts forever. FarmhousePrintingCo.com does all of our printing stuff. They'll do everything for you, business cards, whatever you need.
Yeah. And again, if you have grandkids and you're looking for something for grandkids, you want
them branded?
Brand them. He'll bring the kid in. They'll put the thing right on his arm. I mean, whatever you're looking for. They're very, very flexible. Anyway, and our good friends, and they're going to take care of everything. I promise you.
Well,
Eric
you lose the kids every once in a while.
Well, once in a while, you're going to an arm's going to, but it really is.
Put your phone number right
There's
here.
Insurance. They take care of it. I promise. They fill out all the paperwork. You don't have to do a thing.
Or maybe not put the phone numbers right here.
The paperwork.
That's
there.
probably not good.
Probably not a good idea. Did you hear about the Border Patrol? Here we are again. Again, there's the DHS secretary, that smarmy little dwarf pimp, Mayorkas, has got to go. He got caught in a lie where he knew, he got an email telling him that the Border Patrol agents who were accused of whipping the Haitians on the horseback never happened, and he knew it, and he said, the image of them whipping the people reminds us of the slave. Well, there was an image, but it wasn't a true image. So he should have said they weren't doing that, so we shouldn't be reminded of it. Anyway, he got caught in a lie. He went on international television anyway to blame Border Patrol agents. And now they're at it again. The Border Patrol, the other day, there was video of this. The Border Patrol the other day came across, and it was El Paso, I believe. They came across a whole group of illegals sneaking into the country carrying an enormous Venezuelan flag. Did you see this? Did you see the video? It was one of those 30-foot parade flags. Now, first of all, let me ask you this. Do you think they carried that flag from Venezuela to El Paso?
They could have ordered it from FlagCo.com and had it
FlagCo
delivered.
would have given it to them. But let's not blame FlagCo.
No.
But I mean, again, this is all a setup. Who
It's an
organized
invasion.
all this?
It's an invasion.
This is all by planning. You know they didn't carry a 30-foot flagpole and that flag. I'll guarantee you that flag probably weighs 200 pounds. The material to make a 30-foot flag, they didn't drag that with them from Venezuela.
And they don't have any worry whatsoever that they're going to be caught or stopped because no one who's trying to sneak in somewhere is carrying something like that.
Where do they eat on the way? Where do they go to the bathroom on the way? Where do they sleep on the way? Where do they take care of their children and change diapers on the way?
They have those taco trucks.
Oh, that's right.
That follow them.
Yeah, there you are.
You make some money.
Anyway, what happened was there was an incident this week caught partially on camera where a whole bunch of these illegal sneak-ins were trying to cross into El Paso. and protesting the Rio Grande's international boundary. And so one of the protesters hit a Border Patrol agent with a flagpole. Another one threw a rock at him and hit another one in the face with a rock. And started throwing all kinds of stuff at the Border Patrol agents. So the Border Patrol agents then, quote, initiated crowd control measures, including the use of authorized less than lethal force pepper ball launching systems.
Good.
They fire these little pepper balls. It's like, it's not bullets, but it's like, what do you call the game you play where they shoot the little children into the chest with a
Laser
paintball?
tag.
It's like paintball.
Oh,
It's like a paintball thing, but they call them pepper balls. And then the crowd dispersed, and you can see the agents. The video, you see agents on the bank shooting at the fleeing immigrants. Okay, so oh my God, they're shooting the immigrants in the back as they flee.
Yes!
Oh no, they're shooting the immigrants. Okay, so the American Civil Liberties Union comes out and said, let's see if I can get their exact quote here. Came out and said, well, they were calling him. I like the exact name here. They called them horrible monsters, and that they were torturing these people, and just the most vicious words. So the Border Patrol Union replied to the ACLU this way. We read this morning that the ACLU is upset that Border Patrol agents have the audacity to defend themselves. We have a response for them. Go to hell. That's their actual official response. Good. And by the way, the crowd dispersed and went back to Mexico. As they should have, and now, of course, the Border Patrol people are going to, investigate. But again, it's just typical. It's just freaking typical.
I'm telling you, we can fix this overnight. We have too many alligators in Florida.
Yeah, bring a few over to
Load them up.
Have a moat. You have the border.
Just put them in the Rio.
Let them go right in the Rio Grande. But stock
if
them
they
with
can
fish.
survive in North Georgia, in the North Carolina, they can survive in the Rio Grande.
Well, I would certainly think so. And again, look at the picture of Joe Biden's hand before I forget about this business here. I put the picture of it on the Kimber Show Podcast Facebook page. And again, some of the other blenders. He said Debbie Wasserman Schultz worked in the Senate. She was a congresswoman. She was that snake Democrat under the Hillary years who got caught. One of her criminal aides went back to Pakistan on the lam because he was stealing money from whatever. Now, oh God, anyway. Biden forgot what FEMA stands for. He forgot the name of Hurricane Ian. He said the war in Iraq when he meant to be the war in Ukraine and the war on inflation. He claimed he met the man who discovered insulin. And he tried to do a Southern accent again. But anyway, those are just a few of the things that he did. But if an AP photographer took a picture of a President Crime Family's hand of the hate speaker, and you can see the needle marks from where they've had an IV stuck in the back of his hand. Now, I've had IVs in the back of my hand before.
I hate them. Hate them.
And there's only one reason you have those in the back of your hand. And nobody's explaining on his staff or his medical people what's going on here. And it looks like there are fresh marks every time he steps up to the podium in public. So in other words, to get him to be able to speak in public, they got to shoot him up with something.
It's like literally like they did to Hitler. They had to pump him.
Him up.
Yeah.
Amphetamines. Adderall. There must be 5 or 6 different. Something's This is not normal.
I wish they'd shoot him with phenobarbital so he'd tell the truth once.
Well, yeah, a little something. Sodium pentothal.
Wouldn't that be funny if
if
they snuck in some truth serum in the midst
Can I
of
tell a lie?
Yeah, like Liar, that Jim Carrey movie. Liar.
Yeah. Anyway, but again, it's just appalling. There's a picture of it. Look at the picture of it.
I can't look at it. I hate hand things. Ugh.
But this is very, very bad news. One more quick liberal thing here. Oh, now my phone is not working. Here we go. Get off that phone. Oh, come on, people! It won't go. Here we go. One more. I got it right here.
Happens.
Here we go. One more liberal thing to show that it isn't ending. In fact, it's getting as
You know what Joe Biden should do?
What's that?
Have the good sense to put a little Band-Aid on those puncture marks, kind of like you do on your head.
Well, I have a bad thing on my head. I got
right
2
in the
of
middle
them.
of your head. I keep wanting to push it.
I'm so sorry.
Like it's a button.
I know. It's my hat sits right where I hit myself, so I keep aggravating my little mark there.
You don't really see it until you look right at it.
Until I look at it. Anyway, I look away. I'm hideous. Turn away. I'm hideous. I'm sorry.
You know who you look
Don't
like? You look like Gorbachev with that
Oh,
splotch.
the red splotch. I thought they wiped that off after he left office. Remember Leslie Nielsen?
Naked gun.
I knew it. And he hits I told him in the face, there's a little rooster head with anyway. Trinity College got caught the other day doing something really snotty at Trinity College in Connecticut. There were a couple of American flags in a dormitory window. One of them had the blue stripe for police, the thin blue line stripe on the American flag, and the other one had a "Don't Tread on Me" graphic, which is one of the state logos. So was it New Hampshire or Maine?
Well, there's one by itself, which I have one of those. They call it what they call it.
Yeah, there's a name for it. God. I can't remember. You're right. I should have looked it up. Anyway, there are two American flags in a dorm window. One of them had the thin blue line. The other one had a "Don't Tread on Me" thing overimposed the American flag. Okay. All of a sudden, two students are walking by and they see a woman taking the flags down.
The Gadsden flag.
The Gadsden flag. That's what it was. And so they said, "Excuse me." They started videoing and said, "Why are you taking the flags down?" And he said, "Don't touch our property. Why are you touching our property?" asked a woman, and she wouldn't comment. They went to the dean and they asked to speak to the dean, and they responded by calling campus facilities to bring a ladder to the dorm. Woman then ripped the flags down, as seen on video. There was never any warning about putting flags in the window. There was never explicit warning of any kind, no emails or anything else. And apparently they were taken down because some students were offended by the American flag. The dean said, quote, "The dean said our flags were taken down because some students were offended by them. In my opinion," said the flag kit owner, "anyone could be offended by anything, so it's completely subjective, thus deeming it not a valid reason to take our flags down. And yet other flags, such as tranny flags and LGBTQ and Black Lives Matter and Antifa flags, were still allowed to stay up there.
Of course.
And they were allowed to stay up there for days until finally someone said, you better take those down too, and say there's a policy where no one's supposed to have any flags in the windows." I mean, I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. I mean, this is real. And again, this is college. Again, the last time I saw the kids when I was back there a few months ago, and I remember talking to my family, the adults in my family, including my favorite ex-wife's current husband, who's a great guy, and they're all liberals. And I said, when did this happen? That liberals now saying we don't believe in free speech on a college campus. We don't want to hear anybody other than ourselves. That's not liberals. I mean, that's exactly that's just so wrong. And I said, and again, here we are. They're still doing it.
And they're kowtowing to them is the problem. They're giving in to them instead of standing up to them and saying, "No, that's not what we stand for here."
Unbelievable. One more quick thing to tell you about, and then should we play the Fetterman soundbite? Let's do. There was on CNN the other day.
Put
I think you
guys
sent it to us. But first, reminder: another one of our Kimmer Show sponsors. Then again, if you go to thekimmershow.net, you can link on to all kinds of stuff. If you'd like to join us as a sponsor or get in touch with Pete directly, Pete Davis 1 at yahoo.com. And that's what Swap My Whip did. Swap My Whip, whip, of course, being colloquial phrase for a ride. SwapMyWhip.com. You're driving along, you see a car you've always wanted. SwapMyWhip.com might have somebody who's got that car who wants to swap his whip ride with yours, or someone you know, and you got a friend, he got it over here, bing, bang, boom. You avoid the middleman, you avoid car salesmen, you avoid dealerships, and you might find exactly what you're looking for. Why not? Check it out. SwapMyWhip.com may be exactly what you're looking for. And by the way, it's not just cars, obviously trucks and SUVs and so forth. Boats, jet skis, ATVs, off-road vehicles, stuff like that. Go-karts probably. I mean, whatever. Check it out. SwapMyWhip.com. And right now, use the coupon code KIMMER, KIMMER, 180 days of free premium listings on SwapMyWhip.com. Check it out, SwapMyWhip.com. Again, I can't believe that the people of Pennsylvania would put this guy into the Senate, but it's like a 50-50 race they're saying these days with Dr. Oz and this guy, John Fetterman. He was, in fact, I'm amazed he's being interviewed. I can't believe he's going on TV to be interviewed because he's making a fool of himself. He was on CNN, where they want to love him, they want to help him out. And yet, this is what happened when he went on CNN. It sure backfired, in my opinion. What do you think? Here we go.
What is your message to him as he takes over this giant megaphone that is Twitter?
No, I just am really just about just saying that I just want to make sure that we use your enormous power to just make sure that we don't have the kind of platform where we push those kinds of theories. And I'm just grateful for the opportunity to just say that given that we have this opportunity, just using the platform to really be about a force of good.
Okay. He's even worse than Carmela's side piece, the vice president.
He makes her sound like Daniel Webster.
Oh my God!
I mean,
and
come on.
there was another one even worse, where he clearly and I kept saying to myself, the CNN guy should have said, "I'm sorry, I don't know what you just said." I mean, I really didn't understand what he was talking about.
Then he'd be attacked and fired.
Yeah. Anyway,
he was giving a speech somewhere, and he's making up words. I mean, the words didn't even make any sense.
Yeah. Horrible. A couple of quick birthdays. Roseanne Barr, 70 years old today.
Got screwed out of her own show.
Yeah.
ABC
That's
screwed
right.
her out of her own show.
And again, if you look back now on all the things that happened when Trump got elected, and the hate for Donald Trump changed everything in American culture. I mean, the whole country changed when he won, and she was one of the. Now, if you turn it around, the same with Tim Allen. I mean, the conservative actors and so forth are trying to make a whatever. But that's when it happened because of Donald Trump. Kate Capshaw. Is she still with Spielberg, his wife? 69 years old today. Yeah. Dennis Miller, Chachi, 69. Is he still doing anything?
He said after Trump lost, he quit his podcast. He says that's it. I did everything I could, and now I'm just washing my hands.
Let's get one of
Atlas
his bits
Shrugged.
next week sometime.
Atlas Shrugged, basically. He did Atlas Shrugged.
Yeah.
He said, I don't need this.
One day next week, let's get some Dennis Miller just for the hell of it. Dolph Lundgren, what a story. 65 years old. He was Ivan Drago from Russia. He was a chemical engineering Royal Institute of Technology graduate and was awarded a Fulbright scholarship to MIT in chemical engineering. Dolph Lundgren. Drago.
Now he's making Soldier of Fortune movies with Sly.
Whatever, I mean, what the hell? Kendall Jenner, 27. Is she the billionaire? 27 years old? Jesus. Lulu, To Serve With Love, the singer, British singer, 74 years old today. Former quarterback, I think, is he a Hall of Famer? Phil Simms, 67. I don't think he's in the Hall of Fame. He's still on TV, though. I think he's on
CBS.
Yeah. Anna Wintour from Vogue, 74. The Devil Wears Prada. Michael Dukakis, well, if someone wanted to strangle and kill my wife, I'd have said, this is really not the kind of thing we in America want to really do there, Mr. Mudd.
Is that David Brinkley?
No,
Jimmy Cagney?
Michael Dukakis. Remember, he talked kind of like David Brinkley. He did. And remember, he showed up in that tank with a helmet.
Okay, I give him a pass on that. I give him a pass on that.
Not me. I said, that's it.
I'm sorry. They made them wear it. He had to wear it.
I know, but he should have said, I'm not going. I mean, and his people never should have let him wear that stupid helmet in that tank. He looked like a little puppet miniature Christmas ornament or something. Ridiculous.
I almost got shot because of him.
Why?
But the 88 convention, we were covering it down there, and he was coming out of some place at the Omni Hotel.
Oh, I think you may have told me that.
Go ahead. It was around with Secret Service, and I happened to be very close, like from me to you.
Yeah.
And I had my notepad, and I reached in my pocket like this to get my pen, and everybody around him suddenly alert like this, and it was like, it's a pen.
Yeah, those guys don't fool around too often. Colin Kaepernick is 35. What a scumbag. Larry Holmes, the boxer, 73 years old. He was a heavyweight champ from 1978 to 1985. He defended his title 20 times. See, how can I make this about me? Oh, Larry Holmes defended his title 20 times until he lost it to Michael Spinks. Michael Spinks, when he won the heavyweight championship crown against Larry Holmes, was trained by Mackie Shilstone. Mackie Shilstone is a young fellow I used to know. In fact, I was in his wedding in New Orleans, and my daughter was his flower girl in New Orleans, and I was one of Mackie. He was a trainer. He went to Tulane University, and he and I ran our first marathon, 26-mile marathon together on 6 days training. I'd never run more than 3 miles in my life. Mackie and I did. He was a trainer, professional trainer, and I was one of his guinea pigs about building up muscle with losing fat. When he got me in shape, we ran a 26-mile marathon in 6 days training, and at the end of the thing, he got me into like a 6% body fat, 210 pounds, 32-inch waist, and I was one of his victims to get to train to so-and-so, and he was the one who trained Michael Spinks after that, with a Kimmer experiment happened, to be the heavyweight champion of the world. Mackie Shulstone, the trainer for Michael Spinks, and I was his guinea pig beforehand. Thank you. Thank you so much.
If you had the Mickey Shilstein story today, you win.
Mackie Shilstone.
I can't remember these guys. No one's ever heard of any of these people.
Yeah, if you're all the people who heard that story 9 years ago, and anyway, a couple of quick history things. We got to go. Flounder's got to get to work. 1957, Sputnik 2. The Russians launched a dog into space, the first living creature to enter Earth's orbit. Her name was Kudryavka, or Little Curly. They introduced her onto Russian radio, where she barked, and they started calling her Laika, or Barker. The space team all knew she'd never survive the flight in space, but they never told anybody. Although one lab guy took her home before the flight because he knew what was going to happen. He treated her to a nice experience at his house, gave her treats, and then she had been rounded up as a stray, and they picked a female. You know why? To go in the space capsule. It was a very narrow little space capsule. They picked a female because they don't lift their leg to go to the bathroom.
Oh, God.
So they picked a female stray. She reached orbit alive, but she died shortly thereafter from the heat when the shield failed. The Russians also lied for days after the flight crashed back to Earth, and finally the truth came out. There was no way the dog was going to live. 1868, John Willis Menard is elected to the Congress of the United States, the first black guy elected to the House, thereby proving we're a racist nation, will never have a black president. 1954, No Relation, the Japanese science fiction movie about a mutated monster named Godzilla, is released to the world. 1994, speaking of monsters, Susan Smith of Union, South Carolina, is arrested for leaving her 2 little boys in her car and then driving it into a lake to their deaths. She blamed a black carjacker. 2017, a woke military judge who apparently was also a big fan of the Democrats' no bail policy for traitors allowed Bo Bergdahl to stay out of prison. When he walked away from his post as a deserter to be with the enemy, Bo got a bunch of his guys shot up trying to find him, and President Trump went nuts, and the Democrats all celebrated Bo Bergdahl. 1507, an Italian fellow named Gherardini asked Leonardo da Vinci to paint a portrait of his wife, Mona. It became the Lisa Mona, as a famous... No, the girl's name was Lisa. It's the Mona Lisa. What, cutting now? Okay, all right, I'm done. That's it.
Thank you. Well, one Bad Text Theater, then we're out of here?
Sure.
What? Did I do something bad?
No.
All right, sorry.
No.
If I did, I must have done something bad.
Cindy's keeping count. She says that's the 5th time she's heard the Mickey Shilstein story. She's our accountant. She knows.
All right, fine. I'll never speak
Mickey,
bad.
help me out. I need some muscles. Who knew?
Tough crowd.
Oh, by the way, Miller Pope says if you change your clocks back this weekend, make sure you change them back to 1945 when this country had some balls. It's the one right after the Tin Ants, which was such a big hit.
All right. Did we just go into a lull? Are we okay still?
No, he's still trying to find the bad text here.
All right, folks. I promise we'll get better.
Halloween theater, right?
The last one we did was the Tin Ants one.
We will.
That was a huge hit. Remember? He says
definitely get better.
What do you call an apartment with 5 ants and another 5 ants move in with them?
Trying to
10 ants.
Tenants.
Let's see. It's like right.
I promise it's in here somewhere.
I'm kidding. I kid. Oh, by the way, USA Today, this is a paragraph in USA Today. There was no hammer fight between Paul Pelosi and his alleged attacker, David DePape. Police say the two struggled over the same hammer before DePape struck Pelosi in the head.
So what do you call that?
So someone wrote, could you please give me the definition of a hammer fight?
What is? Wouldn't that be a fight involving a hammer? I'm just off the top of my head. I didn't study this.
Yeah, I got it.
You got it? All right. Are you the first guy or the second guy?
I'll be the first guy.
All right.
So I had to fire the kid who mows my lawn.
Why's that?
He just couldn't cut it.
Oh, God. Well, it was certainly worth the wait,
was,
ladies and
wasn't
gentlemen.
Do you have another Mickey Shellstein story you can tell?
I'm just sorry. I'll never say it again.
Shellstein,
Mackie
whatever.
Shellstone, a very famous member of the New Orleans Cultural Society,
All right,
by
let's
the
wrap
way.
it up.
The Rex King of Rex
All
and all
right,
this.
that's,
Anyway. All right, God, thank you all. God bless you. Again, we have, what's it, Venmo, Venmo, and patreon.com and all that stuff. Anyway, God bless you. Thank you so much. Hoorah, Semper Fi. I gotta go. You're killing me.